Be advised, the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch.
Hello, good evening. My name is Harry Tumbaco and welcome to our program. Before we start the show, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate the outstanding Congressman awardees now on its 20th year. Last week, I was part of the committee that actually conferred the awards to the 20 nominated awardees. Congratulations po. For those of you who wish to know, the website should be on this coming week so you can identify the outstanding awardees. As for our topic this evening, we will be talking about the environment and what exactly is it and the sensitivities of our environment. After all, it's not all about the impeachment. It's not all about the politics that come with the impeachment and or the administration of the country, but the environment as well, as clearly pointed out by the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles. I remember he wrote in a column some 2 years ago, the problem with the environment is if we don't do something about it now, we may wake up one day and find out it's too late. So rather than waiting or finding out it's too late, it is best to act now. Either way, it's a win-win situation. And our co-host in the show, we have John Chope. Dr. John, what's your entry?
Hello. You know, at present, we have so many problems, politics and everything, but looking at the situation, as if we always disregard the problem in the environment, specifically pollution, climate change, mining, and so many things about the environment. As if people are very entertained by this phenomenon, the entertainment and the everyday impeachment trial. That is why sometimes we need to be aware of what is happening within the environment. And looking at different municipalities and even department stores and giant food chain, as we see to it, as if they are now practicing environmental consciousness and an environmental responsibility by not using plastic anymore. Ginagamit na po nila karamihan ngayon karamihan na eco bag, mga papel na supot at marami pang iba. At yung ibang mga munisipyo, syudad ay nandyan din na pinapasukan ng ganitong implementasyon ng kanilang mga polisiya. Right now, we invited somebody that could discuss about the environment. Our guest was a former director of the Environmental Management Bureau in the National Capital Region. He's been in the service of environmental management for so many years. And also, he's a graduate of the Masters of National Security Administration and have earned a law degree and also a graduate student in environmental studies. So mga kaibigan, pinapakilala po natin. Also, sa papala, siya rin ang present na project director ng 3rd Manila Sewerage System. This is under the DNR, or the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. So, ang guest po natin ay walang iba kundi si Engineer Ramon Aguilar. Gandang araw, gandang gabi.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay nagpapasalamat for the invitation of our hosts dahil sa invitation na ito. And siguro sa kanilang invitation, ay makapag-share ako kung ano ang nalaman ko tungkol sa environmental management considering my more than 30 years of experience.
30 years ka na pala.
So medyo matagal-tagal na. And besides being a mechanical engineer, I was exposed more on air quality management. and air pollution
Pero
control.
yung air quality management, di ba nung araw merong National Pollution Control Commission?
Doon ako nanggaling during
Nanggaling.
time of General Picache.
Mm.
Doon ako nag-umpisa ng aking government career.
Paano napadpad kayo mechanical engineering into environmental? Ang hirap-hirap pa naman ng mechanical engineering, yung pa naman kurso mo.
Ang kung kasi noon, ang qualification standards nung time na yon, pag sa air pollution control, either you're a mechanical engineer or a chemical engineer.
One or the other. Hirap naman.
So, ako bilang mechanical engineer, ako yung inspector noon ng mga industries na nag-emit ng gases.
So siguro, Engineer Ramon, how do we manage the environment?
Ano muna ang problema natin?
Yun na,
Pinakamalaking
yun.
problema
Sige, ano
muna
problema?
bago
Sige.
management.
Sige.
Sabi
Engineer.
ng pagdating sa air quality management, sabi ng Philippine Medical Association, it's the silent killer. And may possibility, tama. Ang problema lang, medyo kulang pa sa equipment ang gobyerno natin dahil nga sa budgetary problems.
When you say equipment, for the private sector or government? Because air pollution, anong causes? Daily traffic, automobile traffic, transportation. Anong porsyento po yun sa smoke emission ng mga planta?
Sa smoke emission ngayon, actually sa Metro Manila, base sa kanilang computation, about 60% galing sa motor vehicles.
Motor vehicles, no?
30% galing sa industries. And 10% comes from other sources.
So, if we have 60% of motor vehicles, basically the problem is the diesel or the engines, the kind of engines, or regulation.
Both are problems, the fuel as well as the engines.
And regulation,
And
because
the
I can see, I remember I had, was it MMDA, Mr. Son Singh, si Colonel or General Son Singh?
Sa LTO dati siya.
LTO. He told me when he was sitting right here inside the studio na he can solve that in 6 months to a year. It's been 2 years. It's all promises. You see a lot of pollution along the road. And MMDA, no less, di ba, nanguhuli yan. Tsaka yung mga city, local city enforcers like Makati, Mandaluyong, Quezon City, makikita mo sa EDSA lang, ang daming hinuhuli. But it continues to persist. And air pollution in the motor vehicles, talagang lumala pa. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if it's the diesel engine or even the gasoline. Kita mo yung mga gasoline engines. Talagang kung umusok, grabe, no? Nakikita natin sa highway yan eh. Either they don't change oil, they don't want to service or calibrate them, I don't know what it is, or it's the quality of fuel. Combination of both.
Yeah, ang isang problema ay yung quality of fuel.
But can't that be regulated by government? Pwede sabihin ng gobyerno eh. Ikaw, ayaw mo gawin yan, sala ka. Di ba? Anyway, open na, independent eh. Masama na ngayon, tumataas ang presyo, di ba? Nag-uusok ka, gumagawa ka ng sama, pasara mo, di ba? Implementation and regulation.
Pero we are now actually moving towards the right direction, kagaya ng sa Makati. When we are now converting towards
Electric. Yeah, but Makati's been trying to do that for 2 years. The electric jeepney was introduced initially 2 units 2.5 years ago. And the Makati management obviously has been effective, so much so that the mayor has been catapulted to vice presidency, di ba? But, and naiba naman sa Makati, it's become the central business district, which it has taken over Escolta and Santa Cruz, di ba? But, while electric jeeps is the direction, it seems like we still have to curb the present practice of pollution. I'm not sure whose fault that is. Is it the oil companies? Is it the manufacturers of the vehicles? Is it the poor maintenance of the drivers and the owners of the vehicles? Or is it government's fault? Because kulang sa regulation at implementation.
Actually, parang lahat sila mayroong problema eh.
Di lahat ipreso natin para lumuwag ang kalye. Sana, no? Para yung environment.
Kasi ang isang kuhan dyan, bakit kailangan ang gobyerno na mag-regulate kung tama na sana ang culture ng mga drivers?
Correct.
So okay, nabanggit mo yung kultura, regulation, and so many things. Kasi sa konsepto na, let's go to the basic of the environmental management, the ease of environmental management. environmental education, environmental engineering, environmental enforcement of laws, and enactment of laws.
Wow, okay ka. 4 E's, ha? Parang kang politician.
Kasi sa puntong yan, education, anong ginagawa ng gobyerno?
Actually, sa pagtingin ko, ang mga tao ay aware na.
Yes, I agree with you.
There is too much awareness already.
In the last 3 years, no?
Ang problema actually, medyo mabagal ang gobyerno. So nagkakaroon ng frustration.
Where does government fault? Regulation, implementation? Of regulation,
I
mean.
think on the regulation side. And
Sa polisiya, meron na tayo, kompleto na yan.
kompleto na tayo.
Ginawa na ng mga ahensya yan.
So yung enforcement of laws,
Enforcement
yun ang problema
ang
natin.
problema.
So, ang korap, ang pulis, silang mahina.
Marami kasing agencies ang involved sa implementation. Pagdating sa motor vehicles, it's under the jurisdiction of LTO. Pagdating sa industries, it's under DNR.
Paano pagpuno?
Pagdating sa
Forest.
other sources,
Mga yung forest natin, yung mga illegal logging,
Environment,
sa
DNR.
DNR yun.
pero meron ka environmental police
Pero-
dun, di ba?
Pagdating sa mga dust, kasi ang dust na pagdinana ng sasakyan, na airborne yun, isang source din ng pollution yun.
How about sa water?
I agree with you, no? Yung dust, hindi ko naisip yun, ano?
Eh,
Kasi area yun, eh.
Malaking problema yun actually yung dust. Yung sa aking sariling research, yung sa masteral thesis ko, which is Air Quality Management in the Philippines, na-compute ko na ito ang pinakamalaking contribution.
Dust,
Nationwide.
dust particles. You know, when I live beside a main highway, thoroughfare, along ang Magallanes, SLEX yan eh, yung South Superhighway. Alam mo yung laman ng refrigerator mo, sa loob ng freezer, di ba, hermetically sealed yan eh. Nakasara ang pinto, lumalamig yan. Do you know inside you will find little particles of black dots, you know, it's, what do you call that? Pag dinikit mo finger mo at hinawakan mo, nag-i-spread parang langis. You know, there's a word for that. It's amazing. It's in the air. Tingnan mo yung mga nagmumotorsiklo, di ba? Naglalagay ng protective gear sa mga kamay. Hindi lang sa init yun eh. Tsaka naglalagay ng jacket pero reverse. Di ba? Baliktad ang jacket nila kasi yung hangin sa harap. Pag titignan mo yung mga suot nila, ang daming itim.
Ano, alikabok ba yun?
No, it's sticky. It's a sticky
So,
substance.
galing yan sa fuel.
Fuel naman yun. But that's in the air. Can you imagine you breathe that, it goes inside your nostrils? And imagine, how can it enter a refrigerator? Kasi katabi ko, SLEX eh. And you know, to live right beside a highway is detrimental to your health. Bronchitis aabutin mo niyan.
Tama.
Anybody, I don't care if you're in Forbes Park, pag katabi mo EDSA, that property should be worth nothing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kaya nga yung mga pulis, di ba, meron na silang cover sa mukha. Alam na nila yan eh.
Kaya sa ibang bansa, actually, may mga vacuum cleaner sila eh. Sa mga highways.
To vacuum the highway.
Yung mga dust doon, dapat
Tapos binabasa, di ba? Para
Hindi, dapat isaction mo yon para walang dust na.
Soot, that's what it's called. The black particles are called soot. It comes from diesel, correct? From fuels. And then you have the sand because of construction, denudation of the environment,
Yung rubber tires,
rubber
saka
tires.
yung brake linings. So,
Ayun.
yun ang nagiging dust. So, kung i-vacuum mo yun, at least mabawasan yung particles.
So, si Engineer Mon, air, na pag-usapan natin. How about water? Ano yung problema naman natin? Kasi specifically, nasa sewerage ka ngayon.
Problema ngayon sa water ay ganun din, halos similar sa air. Dahil about 80% ng problema sa water pollution galing sa mga septic tanks.
Sa septic tanks. So, bawat ni dapat ang septic tank. Kasi nangyari, Poso Negro tawag yan eh. Is that correct?
Ang problema, mas matindi yung galing sa informal settlers. Walang septic tank, diretso ngayon sa ilog yung tapon nila. Pero sa about 30% ng residents ng Metro Manila are informal settlers. So meron na tayong 30% na problema.
Immediately. Consequent na kagad yan eh.
Ngayon, may septic tank naman tayo na hindi connected sa sewer lines.
Okay.
Ang efficiency ng septic tanks is only about 35% in the reduction of pollution.
It's only 35%.
35. So, yung 70% times 0.35,
Correct, 0.35. That's the cause of the pollution on
Yun
the
din
sewer
ang
as well.
pollution galing sa septic tanks.
Yung ba kailangan introduction of discipline to the culture or more education?
I think it's more on engineering.
Engineering, yeah.
So you have to build bigger septic tanks, bigger sewer facilities to catch and to screen the debris that comes into the sewer.
We have to construct sewer lines as well as treatment facilities.
Pero engineer, dun sa concept of engineering, for you to implement the engineering policy, there should be a law on the erectment or some houses to require them of septic tanks.
Although meron ng mga batas, although may gaps.
Ah.
Actually, itong project namin, ito yung nag-address dun sa gaps. Hinahanap namin yung mga gaps for us to formulate policies and guidelines.
Pero sa Amerika, hindi mauso yung septic tank. Centralize ang system. Then they would treat the water. Di ba?
Yun, ang tamang sistema actually, direct from the comfort room, nakakonect dapat yung sewer lines to the treatment facilities.
Correct.
Hindi na dapat septic tank. Ang septic tank ay temporary.
Temporary
relief.
lang para sa bahay, di ba?
The septic tanks for the use of what? Wastewater lang.
Habang wala pang sewer lines, at least may 35% reduction ka.
So it's a temporary use
Temporary
dapat.
Pero mahirapan ka pag ganun kasi in terms of the sewerage aspects, maraming mga sidewalk ang maapektuhan. Tapos the engineering development.
Depende nga sa technology.
Sa
Kung
technology.
anong gagamitin. Kung combined system or separate system. Ang separate system, yung bang from the septic, from the inodoro, diretso sa linya, papunta sa sewer lines, then to the treatment plant. Pero kung combined, galing sa inodoro, pati yung paligo, yung mga lahat na
Wastewater, regular water.
Nagko-combine yun ang combined system.
Can we realize such project with the mindset or attitude that we have sa Filipino?
Actually, guys sa Metro Manila, we need really a national policy on a separate system para i-implement ng MWSS as well as Manila and Maynilad na dapat ang technology ay separate system.
Paano mo ma-implement yan kung ang problema sa squatting nandyan?
Meron namang plano na sa kanilang gobyerno na i-relocate sila.
But the NWSS, well, other than that, Maynilad and the other one is private already. Why can't? So, nagkukulang dito, gobyerno na naman, hindi sila rini-regulate or may regulasyon na may policy na?
Regulation. Actually,
So, there's regulation and there's policy in place. Ayaw lang sundan itong mga private companies.
hindi, nakaprogram na yon.
Nakaprogram.
By 2037, yun ang binigay ng Supreme Court sa kanila na timetable na it should be 100%.
2037. Buhay pa kaya tayo nun? Buhay pa kaya ang human beings by then? I mean, at the rate we're going nowadays.
Pero continuous yung construction naman nila ngayon.
Ano yan? How big money? Gano'ng kalaking pondo po pinag-uusapan natin dyan?
Sa computation namin, minimal for Region 3, 4A, and
Sa
NCR.
Metro Manila, NCR.
Part of Region 4A, mababa yung 100 billion pesos for the construction of this infrastructure.
100
Billion
billion.
pesos.
Hindi naman pwede privatize yan, ano? Hindi talaga pwede ba i-privatize yan? Environment and
Actually,
sewerage management?
it's almost privatized dito sa Metro Manila.
Oo.
With Manila and the
Manila.
concessionaire.
That's privatized. So they're the ones who have to put it up.
Ang problema sa ibang regions, meron silang mga water districts. Pero there are areas na walang water district.
So those that have nag-privatize, acceptable. At least sa kanila yung burden, hindi sa government.
Pero yun pa rin ang kailangan.
I don't understand this, engineer, because if I'm not mistaken, nasa scandal lang yan just recently, 6 to 10 months ago, or was it the last SONA, na the NWSS are the ones that get gigantic bonuses. So sa laki ng mga bonuses nila, ang laki pala dapat ng mandato nila para itayo itong mga sewerage plants. Ang nangyayari na pupunta sa bulsa ng mga tauhan. And if I'm not mistaken, coming into 2012, they still got their bonuses. These fat commissioners, correct? Lumabas pa rin si Jari yan, tuloy-tuloy pa rin eh. How can they even have an excess of funding when there is so much on their plate to construct? So, nagkulang na naman.
Pero sa ngayon, actually, yung burden of construction is now with Manila and Maynilad Water.
Ayala Group, and it was with the Lopez Group, pero hindi na ngayon. Di ba si Pangilinan bumili niyan?
Pangilinan?
Dem Concern.
Consuni ang bumili. So, sa laki ng kumpanya niyan, why until 2037? Ano? I don't
Yun
understand.
ang binigay ng Supreme Court na timetable. Although, hindi naman continuous nakaprogram.
Bakit binigay ng Supreme Court yung timetable na yun? Ano bang meron?
Siguro yung nakita ng Supreme Court yung
May kaso na
feasibility, no?
Ano?
Yung feasibility on really to construct. Kasi kung biglain mo yon, bibigla rin tataas yung presyo ng tubig. Kasi naka-attach yung cost ng construction ito sa presyo ng
Ito lang, engineer.
water supply.
For purposes of clarity, what is the involvement of the Supreme Court dun sa case na yan on the forecast of the 2027?
Ito na involve ang Supreme Court nung nag-file ng kaso si Atty. Oposa. Kasama yung mga fisherman sa Cavite, nalinisin ang Manila Bay.
Yeah, I know about that part.
So, ito yung nangyari. Nung nag-decide ang Supreme Court, binigyan ng mandamos ang 13 government agencies, kasama ang DNR, kasama ang MWSS. Yun, binigyan ng bawat agency ng kung anong gagawin.
So pag di nila nagawa ng 2027, contempt of court?
Mga contempt of court sila. Ganon ang mangyari. So,
Di bale, marami naman ang contempt ngayon. Sa dami na impeachment, sa dami pa rin ang contempt. Alam mo, it's becoming a dime a dozen. Alam mo naman, rule of law is no longer the rule, the practice today, di ba? But with this state, can we call it a calamity, the current conditions? Ikaw, you're an environmentalist, pinag-aralan niyo po. I guess for you, your measurement, you would be very strict. It is a state of calamity, currently.
Is it a man-made calamity, natural calamity? Or
yeah, it's a force.
Man-made.
Man-made. Yun.
Man-made.
Man-made because of too much progress. Residents, palaki ng palaki residente natin.
Saka yung problema
migration.
natin, yung migration dito.
Migration sa Maynila.
Kasi the rate of construction ng facilities is slower than the rate of increase of migrants. So, yung services na dapat maibigay,
The infrastructure, hindi kaya.
na tatalo yung infrastructure construction ng migration.
may problema sa sustainable development planning.
Yung
Long term.
The problem is social.
Social.
Dapat ngayon, yung development talaga should be in the province para hindi mag-migrate yung mga tao dito sa Metro
May
Manila.
terorismo sa probinsya. Di ba?
No, it becomes bigger and bigger route. This is what we're saying.
Maraming variables na
Maraming
involved.
variables. But the current condition of the sewage and the pollution on the water, can we call it of calamity nature? Hindi pa naman.
Siguro, nasa level na yun dahil ang baba na ng, o ang taas na ng concentration ng pollutants dito sa Tullante Negros River System. Yan sa Meykawayan, o Bandang Meykawayan. Then dito sa Parañaque River System. Halos ito mga highly polluted water bodies na nag-discharge ng tubig dito sa Manila Bay.
Engineer, we're going to have to take a short break. We're at the bottom of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. When we come back, let's look at the other issues that compound these problems and make life actually bearable, supposedly. The problem is for us who are doing well and live in your private enclaves, okay kayo. But in general, there is only one environment, and that environment, one way or the other, affects all of us. No one is exempted, even if you think you're living very well inside your air-conditioned homes. One way or the other, as you step out, the total environment will get you. So stay with us and learn more of our environment.
great day again, ladies and gentlemen. No, we discussed earlier so many things about the problems, the air, the water, and so many variables as mentioned by engineer. And as he mentioned, the main thing that we need to look at is the social in nature, the social concept and the social problems in the concept of the environment. Now, sustainable development will play a big part in terms of this direction. In looking at the academia and researches, there is already a framework on how to manage the environment. And that was drafted even in the 1950s. That was the Agenda 21. And even on the time of, I think, Fidel Ramos, he drafted a resolution or even a executive order creating the Philippine Council for Sustainable Development. And there are people who would like to sustain the environment and develop and protect the environment through the means of sustainable development, which means that everything that is happening in our environment, the problem within the environment, are what? Caused by man, because they're not looking at the direction of a what? Sustainable development. Now, I would like to ask our guests on this direction, ano ba yung mga sustainable development na ginagawa ngayon ng DNR o dun sa Environmental Management Bureau?
Sa ngayon, ang pinaka-strategy is more on greening of the environment.
Hindi kasi, hindi naman pwede, di ba, ang ginagawa lang, pag pumutol ka ng puno, magtatanim ka ng puno. Eh,
Pag nagputol ka ng puno, tatayo ka ng building, condominium. Ganun ang nangyayari dito, di ba?
Pero isa yun sa mga projects ng, actually, priority project ng DNR yun.
Like Ayala, di ba? Sabihin nila, green and green, green belt area. Come on, puro bato yan at bakal at konkreto, di ba?
Tapos yung isa pang ginagawa ngayon is rehabilitation of ecosystems, like Manila Bay. So, isa ito sa
Kaya
mga...
pa ba yan, engineer? Is that still feasible?
Kaya po.
Kaya talaga. Because I have swam in Manila Bay. And as you come out, kakati ka talaga. No? Tsaka maraming oil blots. But it's not just the dirt that we throw out there. I mean, go to the yacht club, and it's unbelievable. You can't even sit in that restaurant because ang dumi talaga, ang baho talaga. Kasi yung sewer doon, lumalabas ng ospital ng Maynila. Doon lumalabas, nakikita mo even needles you see in the water. But over and above that, it's also the ships that come in and out that discharge, di ba? And then you have the oil blots. Nakikita mo sa tubig, mga oil particles na malalaking blobs, di ba? Parang gano'n
Kaya huwag kang magtataka, Harry. Minsan napabalitaan natin sa mga news na kung saan ay may mga hayop na nakikita na sa mga imburnal. Umaga, yung konsepto ng protection ng habitat and the ecosystem, the biodiversity, nawawala na yata because of the greed of man. Ang puno yung bundok ay kinakalbo, mining, illegal logging. Kaya saan nagpupuntahan yung mga ahas? Pumupunta sa syudad. Kaya wag kang magtaka kung merong maraming hayop sa Senado, maraming hayop sa Malacanang. Baka lang galing
Kaya pala, no? Ganun pala yun. Ang dami palang animal doon. No, but can you really clean still the Manila Bay? Is that still feasible?
Yes, doon sa ginawa, dahil ako concurrent din na Deputy Director ng
There is an
Manila
effort.
Bay.
Yes, I know. There is an effort. Para
Meron
kaya ba?
kaming,
Feasible?
we have drafted an action plan for the rehabilitation of Manila Bay.
And how would that, you would
Ngayon,
screen it to take out the pollution?
It's more on engineering and as well as social. So we need economic, social, as well as
What would be
political
the engineering
strategies.
infrastructure? New walls? New parapets?
No, kung sa engineering side, it's more on the construction of sewer lines and treatment plants.
Treatment plants as it goes out to Manila Bay before it comes out.
Yeah.
So water treatment plants.
So, halimbawa itong galing septic tanks, maging septage ito, we can treat this solid waste. Pwedeng gawin natin itong fertilizers. So, that is sustainability. Dahil ito, fertilizer, pwedeng gamitin sa reforestation projects. Yung galing sa...
That's sustainable. Yan.
How about the
sustainability.
garbage problem? Do we need dump site?
Kailangan din yan. And ang problema...
Ang dump site, yung dagat Social problem nga yan. Diyan nag-uumpisa yan
Pero dapat pwede pa rin gawin itong mga garbage. Pwedeng gawin ding
Convert sa energy.
fertilizers or source of energy. So pwedeng magtayo ng power plants using this solid waste.
Kaya ginawa dun sa,
Montalban.
sa Montalban.
Oh, pwedeng
Methane,
methane.
kukuha ka ng gas, and then you can reburn.
Or
Pero di ba
pwede sa-
bawal yan sa batas na hindi pwede magsunog nga eh?
may mga yun actually yung batas on yung Clean Air Act. Hindi
Clean
naman
air.
sinabing bawal eh. Bawal mag-emit ng hindi papasa sa standard.
So kung talagang high heat at you don't get black smoke, it's okay,
It's
acceptable.
okay. Based yun sa decision din ng Supreme Court. Dahil nagkaroon ng kaso tungkol dyan, yung sa Jangcom.
But we don't have any facility that burns and incinerates our garbage. We still have a garbage problem.
Natakot na yung mga investor sa batas natin.
Meron ba tayo, engineer, na yung carbon emission policy, the carbon content? Doon sa
Meron tayong standards.
standards. Kasi that would be the problem. So, sinasabi na sa climate change, di ba?
Hindi, may standard ang DNR on the concentration of air pollutants. Ang problema, natakot yung investors dahil ang feeling nila bawal ang
Incineration.
incineration.
When that's really the only left solution. Alam mo, ang law is conflicting. Ang batas is a bit confusing. Ang nangyayari dyan, walang open pit garbage dump, and yet bawal din magsunog. Anong gagawin mo sa basura? Kakainin mo uli?
Yun nga, ayaw ng tao ng sanitary landfill.
Oo.
Ayaw din ng incinerator.
Hindi pwede. Anong gagawin mo sa basura?
So ang mangyayari dyan, mapuntang Manila Bay. Yung basura.
Ayun.
Pero kung i-implement mo yung carbon emission standards and even the carbon policy, luluwag ang ating daan. Kasi marami nag-violate.
Are you saying yung mga gumawa ng batas are stupid?
Hindi naman, siguro yung interpretation.
Bakit sa interpretation? Maraming
Kailangan
interpretasyon.
siguro i-clarify talaga yung interpretation kagaya ng Clean Air Act na ang feeling ng tao na bawal ang incinerator. Actually, ang bawal is yung black smoke emission that failed to
I
pass
agree
the
with that
standards.
too. Oo, I agree with black smoke emission because it's just as bad. When you burn a tire, a used tire, there's a reason why it's black. You don't have to know the chemical compounds. Pero alam mo, it's bad for the air. Di ba? It's simple as that. When you see black emission coming out of used buses that the bus operators bring in from China because they're 40 years old and they make money out of it to the detriment of our social well-being, we know it's bad. I don't need to know the chemical compound of what is exhausted.
Tama kayo sa interpretasyon, maraming implikasyon at maraming interpretasyon. Alam mo ba yung Republic Act 9006? The Solid Waste Management Act. Pati sa paghanap ng kaibigan, ginagamit na rin yan eh. Ang pagpili ng kaibigan ay hango sa Republic Act 9006.
I don't understand.
Hinihiwalay ang plastic sa nabubulok.
No, but okay, John.
Para makita mo kung plastic ang kaibigan mo. hindi.
Mabuti na yung nabubulok, ano?
Oo. Kayo nabubulok, wag mong kaibigan. Ayun, tsaka yung plastic, di ba?
Ikaw naman nakala ko hindi natin pag-uusapan impeachment. Bumalik na naman tayo sa impeachment. Environment pinag-uusapan natin, bumalik na naman tayo sa segregation.
The environmental laws, may implication din yan sa political laws.
Okay. So the state, why can't we build wastewater treatment plants simply because we don't have the financial might? Wala tayong pera. Pondo na naman.
Actually, we are initially doing that already. Sa ngayon, yung project namin, meron kaming itatayo dito sa Maimonios Market na treatment plant worth about almost 300 million pesos.
How big would that be physically,
Pero
space-wise?
maliit pa lang yun.
How big an area does that take?
Maliit lang.
Maliit lang, pero yung capacity, malaki naman.
Oh, dahil medyo multi-story.
Okay, I would like to look at the politics within the environmental management. Kasi
Multi-story.
usually, sa problema ng implementation of the environmental laws, specifically yung environmental compliance certificate, pag pumasok na yung politika, maraming na-exempt sa issuance ng environmental compliance certificate, di ba?
Hindi naman siguro dahil ang exemption, nandun may guidelines yun. Pero kung malalaking projects, ang exemptions ay binibigay lang ng presidente.
Presidente.
Presidente lang pwedeng magbigay ng exemption. Kung malalaking projects.
Eh kung taga-pondo ni President ang tatawag, yun ang magiging problema, di ba? So it's still politics plays also on
Hindi,
the
issue ng ECC pa rin yun.
ECC. So what
Pero
would-
ang
kasi
exempted-
sometimes in terms of the ECC, you could easily railroad minsan yung standards based on the needs of the nung nangangailangan.
Hindi kasi ang ECC is actually more on planning tool rather than a regulatory one. Yun ay gagamitin ng proponent para sundin, para
That's the environmental clearance.
Certificate.
Certificate.
Compliance certificate.
actually yun ang pinaka-main objective niyan is to be used as a planning tool.
It's policy to guide them when they construct it and they put the project together.
Oh, para tumama yung gagawin nila.
Kasi in reality, maraming mga factories minsan na nag-dispose ng kanilang mga toxic wastes sa mga ilog. And they would say, ini-issuean pa rin ng environmental compliance certificate.
Hindi ang ini-issue ng DNR is discharge permit.
The discharge permit.
Hindi na ECC.
Okay lang sila mag-discharge sa ilog
Within standard.
within the standards. So what would be the standards?
May standard ang DNR kung anong quality ng wastewater ang dapat nilang
May
itap.
standards yung DNR, pero iba rin yung standard ng inspector,
Hindi, dadaan kasi sa laboratory yun.
laboratory.
Does the sea naturally clean out the garbage? If man creates garbage, and we didn't have progress the way we know the world to be today, and we have garbage and we dump it out to the sea like Cro-Magnon man, di ba, in the old days, the salt water in the sea, is it really a natural filtration system that cleans the environment?
Pwedeng mangyari. Pero kung sa ngayon, hindi kaya ng capacity ng water bodies yung volume ng garbage.
Hindi na kaya.
Hindi kaya. So yung
So at the rate of growth, the more people we get into this earth, if we keep going, let's suppose we're 100 million now along the Philippine Sea and the seas around our perimeters, if we grow to double, soon the sea will stop moving also because it'll be full of garbage.
hindi
Correct?
lang yun, kahit na with the same population, pero kung lifestyle natin,
Does not change.
baka mas mag-produce ng maraming garbage, mas hindi kaya. Kaya yung tinatawag na yung ecological footprint,
Okay, close.
si Jan, 30 planet Earths ang kailangan kung lifestyle niya sundin.
Nakuha mo
For us
na
to
ba yung
survive.
ecological footprint mo?
No, I haven't.
Tuturo
done
ko
that.
sa'yo sa internet.
Ako, kailangan ko 5 planet Earths. Kung ang lifestyle ko, kagaya ng lahat na tao sa mundo, kailangan natin 5 planet Earths para mag-survive tayo.
Oh, knowing all of this as reality, because it's your study, it's easier for you to understand, both of you, because you both took it theoretically, you went, you're part of the academe, pinag-aralan nyo yan. What is the state now? The present state now is a calamity. It's already of emergency state.
Punta na siguro doon.
Ando doon na tayo.
Hindi pa naman, dahil buhay pa naman tayo.
There is the calamity aspects on the state of the Philippine environment. But the solution goes within the implementer of the policy. Yun ang problema di ba?
Pagtingin ko dyan, it's more on the social values.
Two ways, social values and also the implementer,
Kasi
system
kung
and the people.
tama na ang values natin, you can dissolve the DNR already. Or the environmental
Dissolve na
management
naman
bureau.
yung DNR, pinalitan na nga ng pangalan. Ginawa ng destroyer of the environment and natural resources, di ba?
Kung tama na ang values ng tao, ng politiko, ng political leadership natin, kailangan mo ba yung inspector? Hindi na.
Hindi na.
Because we follow the laws based on our own culture.
Can we say we already have the laws in place, most of them? The policy guidelines are already there. It's not a new thought. This has already been in place for some time. Like you were saying, Agenda 21, done in the
Matagal
40s.
na.
So the problem is a social issue. It's our values as people. It's all messed up. So let's go back and blame the schools. Let's blame the church. Diba? No, because they're the ones who corrupted and sumabog ang mga values natin. Diba? Isn't that what we always talk about?
You mentioned the academy and the school. Ginawa nilang mandatory yung environmental science and environmental education sa mga colleges, even sa high school yata. Yung problema, tinuturo lang doon yung konsepto ng biology, chemistry, pero hindi yung pag-protect. Even though the word ecological footprint, importante yan. Kung meron kang,
Hindi pa alam ng
kung
tayo.
meron kang intellectual quotient, emotional quotient, and even the human relation quotients na bago, the ecological footprint, importante.
But the popularity of the words climate change biodiversity, sustainable environmental practice. All these new words that have come out and become vogue in the last 3-4 years. Like you said, education is there. But the values of the people are wrong because knowing it's wrong, they still do it. Nambabasura pa rin kung saan-saan. So, lumalabas, ang Pilipino, kinukulang sa disiplina at pagmamahal sa environment. Tama ba po sabihin yun?
Hindi naman lahat siguro. Pero lalo na yung pinapakita ng mga nasa leadership, ng top leadership. Dapat there should be an environmental friendly political leadership.
Ano yun? Yung environmentally political leadership.
Dapat yung values nila.
So we have to vote Vice President Gore.
Gore.
To get it together, kumbaga. No, but seriously.
Pero yun ang, kasi sa ngayon, kahit na yung taga-DNR mismo, pagtingin ko, we are not that very environment friendly. Dahil ang usually, ang taga-DNR magbabiyahe yun. Gagamit ng eroplano.
Yun
Pag
naman,
ang
footprint
isang
yun.
tao gumamit ng eroplano, ang laki na ng footprint.
Ano mo, Hari, all stakeholders are involved in the environmental problems, commerce, greedy businessman, nandyan eh. Even in the law enforcement, nandyan din.
Nandyan din.
Ang problema minsan ito, depending the DNR, lahat pag nagkaroon ng problema sa sa environment, DNR ang sinisisi, pero hindi nalalaman, DTI may problema, local government may problema, police may problema.
Kasi ang DNR kasi yun ang lead agency sa lahat. Pero kung titingnan mo, ilan bang nasa gobyerno ang may sasakyan? Baka halos lahat ng taga-gobyerno may sasakyan. Ilang planet Earth ang kailangan mo kung lahat na kayo may sasakyan? Yung mga mayaman, ilan sasakyan? Baka may na dyan ang 5 sa isang pamilya. So, karamihan na politiko, sigurado may sasakyan yun.
Yung nga sinasabi mo sa sasakyan, status symbol yung sasakyan eh. Ngayon, syempre, hindi mo naman pwedeng ilimit ng pagbibenta ng sasakyan.
Negosyo yun.
Negosyo nga. Sabi nga sa'yo, it's more of the free enterprise.
O ngayon, kapag gumamit ka ng sasakyan, ilang bundok ang sisirain mo para maging sasakyan. So, ilan bundok ang miminahin natin para maging bakal.
Where do we draw a compromise between progress, modernity today, and the world we know it, and environment? Because really, we can't go back to the Stone Age. I mean, for example, I live all the way in the south. Papasok ako, hindi naman pwede nagbibisikleta ako all the way to Makati. Mabaho na ako noon, mapawis na ako noon. Tsaka mainit pa because, alam mo naman araw natin, minsan umuulan pa. I mean, where do we draw the line for a compromise to have a modern world as we know it with the modern features, conveniences, and yet protecting or being conscious of our environment? Is there a trade-off somewhere?
Meron siguro tayong kagaya ng the use of renewable resources. Gaya ng solar power. Kung ang mga sakyan natin karamihan ay solar powered, sigurado yung pollution natin bababa. Tapos, sustaining talaga yun.
But I don't understand why. We've talked about that for some time. The last 3 years, there's been little headway towards electric power simply because, electricity in this country is extremely expensive, number one. Solar power, the introduction, although we have one of the biggest plants in the world here in Montalban, we export all the panels. Of course, the converters we don't even have. They're only made in Texas, USA. But isn't that the fault of commerce in general and infrastructure?
Marami, Hari. Kasi maraming variables, commerce, and one thing is population. One word that we need to look at is carrying capacity. Kumbaga, yung carrying capacity, ilan bang tao dapat ang tumira sa isang ecosystem o sa isang environment? Ang problema, parami yung populasyon na hindi na kayang i-sustain ng pagkain, pagbiyahe. So, kailangan din ng control sa pagdami ng tao.
That's why, where do you find the middle road para may acceptability?
Ang sabi ng professor natin sa Merriam, noong 1972 or 70s, yun ang medyo nasa tamang balanse pa ang Pilipinas.
Since then, unsustainable na.
Parang
It's been a
ganun.
downward graph.
Kasi ang karamihan na tao pumunta ng urban centers. Tapos doon nag-start na yung problem.
Maraming factor, Harry. Specifically, urban planning. Yung pagbenta ng kotse, dapat nakadepende sa road widening. Ito, nung tumating si Cory Aquino, nung naging presidente, inopen yung people's car na wala namang urban planning para sa mga daan. So, nang nangyari, siksikan sa traffic, usok. So, dapat nagsasabay lahat eh. Ang problema, komersyo. Lahat ng Pilipino, dapat may kotse.
Negosyo. Yun ang
Dapat ng Pilipino, merong sasakyan at makakabiyahe.
nasa values na naman tao.
Values na naman.
Dahil gusto ng tao, status symbol. Mataas ang tingin sa'yo kung may kotse ka.
Tapos biyahe ka ng biyahe sa abroad. Hindi mo alam, kada sakay mo ng eroplano, may contribution sa destruction
Kung
environment.
nakarating ka sa ibang bansa, sikat ka. Lalo na ngayon may Facebook, ipapakita mo yung picture mo kung saan lugar ka. So, mas lalong environment unfriendly yung
I've never used my Facebook for that matter. Engineer, we're already at the end of the program. We're at the top of the hour. A short message para sa mga viewers natin. Ano po message nyo?
Sa akin, ang maganda pa rin na natin gawin ay baguhin yung ating culture or values na parang maging environment friendly tayo. Kagaya ng kung pwede sana magkaroon tayong simple living, simple lifestyle. Kasi mas simple ang buhay natin, mas environment friendly tayo. Dati kung gusto natin na pagkain, tinapay, na ang raw materials nun galing pa sa abroad. Samantalang kainin natin kamote na galing dito, wala nang gagastusin na gasolina para i-transport yung kamote kung galing lang naman yun sa may Montalban. Mas konti ang pollution na mangyayari kung ang kainin natin yung na-produce dito sa atin. So, kailangan ang simple lifestyle talaga para maging environment friendly tayo.
Thank you very much, Engineer. Dr. John Tiope?
Okay, mga kaibigan, mga kasama, mga nanonood sa ating mga bahay. Ang usapin ng kalikasan at environmental management, environmental protection, ay hindi yata masyadong napag-uusapan sa kasalukuyan. At even hindi tayo aware sa ating mga bahay kung ano yung pangangalaga sa kalikasan. Basta alam lang natin, sumakay, pagbiyahe, pumutol ng puno, kumain ng ganito. Pero di natin nalalaman na minsan ang ating planeta, ang ating environment ay medyo yata nagkakaroon na ng problema. And habang nagkakaroon ng problema ang ating kalikasan, apektado po ang mga buhay ng bawat Pilipino at bawat mamamayan sa ating daigdig. Siguro po, umpisahan na po natin minsan mahalin ang ating kalikasan, ang ating environment para pag hindi natin ito minahal, matatakot kayo. The environment would go back to us. At baka yung environment ang yumurak sa ating kinabukasan.
Thank you very much, John. Ladies and gentlemen, as we end the show, just one short line. Sa ikinauunlad ng bayan, disiplina ang kailangan. Ferdinand E. Marcos. Maraming salamat po. I hope you've enjoyed our program and learn more of your environment. It's not just what you know, it's what you do about it. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much, Engineer.
You are what you watch. You are what you watch.